It was a breakout performance for Chris Warren III. Warren set a couple of UT freshman rushing records against Texas Tech, including this 91-yard touchdown.
It seemed like you went off for 1,000 yards in that one game alone.
If only.
If only.
That would have been something serious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Some kind of record that's got to be.
How do you sum up your Texas career when it started like that?
I think after that game specifically, it was kind of not necessarily a letdown, but it was lackluster, subpar, if you will. And that's something I always, at the end of every season, I always wanted to go out and do better the next season because I knew that I could do better, and I knew that I just wanted to help my team win.
Right.
So there was a lot of things just going into it, but I mean, I hold myself like to a higher standard than that. So I feel like I let myself down a little bit, but I do believe I still did some really productive things.
Productive while sharing carries with current Houston Texans running back D'Onta Foreman. That sophomore season in 2016, Warren was on pace to have a special season before suffering a season-ending injury against Oklahoma State.
D'Onta ended up getting 2,000 yards, getting himself third round. He's in the NFL now. I think if both of us were playing at the level that we were playing that year, it would have just been something really special, and I think we could have gotten to we could have won a lot of games that year. Who knows what else could have happened after that season. But regardless, I do feel like that season kind of was like just something in my head that has always just kind of like not necessarily haunted me, but it's always been in my head.
A season which ended up with a 5-7 overall record and a loss to Kansas, which cost Charlie Strong his job. And then 2017 happened, Tom Herman's first as the Longhorns head coach. After the first 5 games, Warren wasn't receiving the carries and was used more as a pass catcher and played tight end opposed to running back in the latter part of the season. That led to Chris Warren announcing his plans to transfer before the Texas Bowl.
Is also on the side of the building, as a matter of fact, the only one who's...
Warren was invited to the NFL Combine and ran a 4.69 40 and performed well in the other tests.
And you fast forward to the opportunity now where you decided you wanted to transfer from Texas, and there were some academic reasons involved, and then you said, okay, I'm going to enter the NFL draft. What was the deciding moment to go to the NFL draft and not a fresh start somewhere else?
Just the fact that it was going to be coming sooner or later, honestly. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm thinking myself like that, but it's just like it was going to come because I was going to try anyway. So I figured after coming in doing something, and if it's through academic reasoning or if there was some other kind of issue going on, regardless, just to come out and just try your luck, because if it doesn't happen, like, you just got to work regardless, and then you go back to school, get your degree. But I think it's worked out for the better so far, and I've been working really hard. I've been changing some habits, and it's been pretty well, in my opinion.
Warren's namesake can only help. Chris Warren's dad was a Pro Bowl running back who had a 12-year career in the NFL.
As long as I've known you, you've been guided to establish your own identity. A lot of people bring up your father and the great running back. And it's nothing against him, but you're trying to form your own legacy, so to speak.
Yeah.
How has he been a factor in this, I guess, this transition to becoming an NFL player?
He has a little bit. His main thing that he tells me, he's always told me, is just to make sure that you go out and you play how you play. Make sure that you do the things that you want to do. Like, make sure that you're going and you're playing football. Don't try and, like, fit to other things. Don't try and be somebody else, be you. And because that's honestly, I think, how running backs succeed, is that they play how they play football, because that's what got them there in the first place. Now, there are things that you got to take from your coaching and the plays, obviously, but you being special is how you got to the NFL or college. So I think that is that is the thing that he's always told me.
No advice could have prepared Warren for a certain staring contest he had to engage in during the NFL Combine.
What was that moment like, and were you prepared for anything at that moment?
Well, it's something that I normally do because like I play a lot of video games, so I'm old. My eyes are open a lot, and so when he asked me, I was like, "Oh, cool! That's something I could do real easily." And so I was like, "All right, cool! I'm gonna do it." And so I did it, and it was a long time. It was about like a minute, but then they just like kept testing me on like my fight and if I wanted to actually keep pushing and keep going. And so I ended up getting to like about 6 or 7 minutes, and so I just ended up it was just something that it was just I kept pushing myself, and it was like a whole different like I knew that I worked hard, but it was just a whole different like look on working hard. It was something that making sure you can push yourself through your thresholds and stuff.
Warren is prepared for any opportunity in the NFL, but he wants to make one thing perfectly clear.
I will play whatever you guys need me to play, but I fully 110% intend on playing running back in the NFL. Point blank, period.
That's with an exclamation point. Sean Clinch, KVUE Sports.